All right. Good morning. Well, no, what am I saying? Good afternoon. Geez, guys. Good afternoon to those of you on the East Coast. Good morning to those of you on the West Coast. Throwing me off because I'm here still on the West Coast. I'm your host, Brandon Troy, host and co-creator of Movies and Shakers Unlimited, live from from the airport. Giving you the lowdown of this week in pop culture, and of course, I'm not alone in talking about the stories today. It's going to be a quick show. Have Spillman joining us, aka Spills. Spillman, what's going on, sir?
Hello, everybody. I got
Oh wow!
this is the second time it's happened, ladies and gentlemen. I think if you do this, the two hands up, the screen recognition. But I hope everybody's having a great MLK weekend, and let's get out there and enjoy the weekend.
Yeah, another year down for CES. Making my way back home. As I said, we try to do our best, folks, even under the circumstances. Even here at the airport, folks, I'm here giving you the lowdown. So again, Spills, thanks for joining me. And as I said, this is going to be a quick show talking about some of the things that have been going on this week. And the first thing that I want to talk about this week is talking about, unfortunately, the woes that the Warriors are still experiencing at this point. We were planning on doing the show originally, guys, last night, and wires got crossed, so we're doing it this morning. So I do understand that they did have a recent win last night, but in lieu of what's happened thus far in this month of January, they were recently blown out by the New Orleans Pelicans. And previously when we discussed them on a prior show, they were currently on like a 500, I guess, record, being about 6 and 7 in the month of December. They opened new year with respectable 2-1 when we were talking about it on the show. However, in the time since they have gone 1-2, of course, not counting the most recent game, but prior, prior to the most recent game that they did win, they were winning, or should say losing by a minimum of 15, points in those recent losses. So, still, what are your thoughts on what's going on for the Warriors? I mean, I have mine, but
Well, I believe that the Warriors' main problem is they're old. Unfortunately, they're old. Looking at your guy.
Steph,
Draymond's not playing well. Steph's playing okay.
yeah,
Steph's
Steph
on my
playing good. I was
fantasy
about to
team,
say,
makes the fantasy team win. They are old, unfortunately. They're old. You know, just by association, he's old. But I think that the problem really is they just got elder stars. Draymond hasn't been playing. They weren't winning when Draymond wasn't playing. So it's not like on the Last Dance, Mike was like, Dennis, I need you." But this time it was Clay. I need you, and Clay didn't show up for y'all like you needed him to, because that's unfortunate. He's old. He's got a couple of knee injuries, some Achilles stuff. He's not going to be the same person. I feel bad. There's not any locker room cohesion. Your guy Kaminga, he was complaining in the media, talking bad about the coach. Then they made him cut his hair. Did you see that? That was incredible to me. They
yeah,
they, they made your guy
yeah.
get his hair cut. I just other players are talking about playing time and stuff, but I really think once people start talking about playing time, you're not doing well. Because the only time you talk about playing time is when you lose. It's like, hey, coach, I could be in the game where we can lose
Over
if that's what we're
things
trying to
to
do.
yeah, you're nitpicking over things to complain about. So yeah, no,
Yeah.
on that we can definitely agree. I guess one thing that comes to mind immediately for me, and I know you were talking about the age thing, and I get that somewhat to a degree. With how Clay hasn't really been Clay since that major injury that he
Since
had, and I mean
2018, yeah.
it is a difficult injury to recover from. So there is that, and there have been players that have not recovered from that injury. So that's still kudos to him that he's still even able to play at the level that he's at. And as I said, they most recently did ink out a win, but I would say that's more in lieu of, and I mean we were both ball players. That's more in lieu of out of desperation. I feel of
Hmm.
like really trying to ink out a win after having such a disappointing a couple of losses recently. So like I don't really put too much into that in terms of them, turning a corner. If anyone can do it, I feel like they can and can really go on a run. Like I said, I still believe that they can go in that run. But I will say it is concerning, at least in the current stand right now of where things are. So hopefully, they're able to kind of, pull themselves up by their bootstraps and figure it out. As I said, if anyone can figure it out in terms of like the team that they have, I feel like they can, because they still have that foundation, that championship foundation with those three there. So we'll see. We'll see.
But I just want you to remember that four with any group of basketball players, four championships is a crazy amount of championships.
It
So,
is. It is.
even
It
if
is.
that was the last dance 2 years ago,
Still,
still to be
still.
at the mountaintop four times in any career, in any professional sport, to get four of them things is just incredible. So, it's
Absolutely.
not all all dynasties fade, unfortunately.
Yeah, eventually, but I still hold out hope that they're able to ink out at least one more title before it's all said and done. So we'll see. We'll see.
That's
I know.
look,
But
look,
but
look, look,
Strange,
watch
hey,
this.
look.
I hope LeBron and AD can squeak out one more title. You see how
But I'm
crazy I
saying,
sound?
I know, but I'm
I
saying,
sound
stranger.
cuckoo when I
Hey,
say
look.
that.
Hey, look. Stranger things have happened with your Lakers. They were on the outside looking in and got all the way to the conference final. So
That's
we've
true.
seen things happen. So we'll see. But moving on to our next story, we did have some news in the world of football, and that was surrounding Nick Saban retiring. Just to give you a rundown of our gentleman's accomplishments. He completed his 17th season at the University of Alabama, ending in a loss, unfortunately, to Michigan in the Rose Bowl. However, in terms of his other accolades, he's won 201 games, second all time with one school in SEC history, 11 SEC titles, 9 of which were with Alabama, one MAC title, 7 national championships, 6, of course, of those coming with Alabama. He's going to be replaced by, and this is like recent news, going to be replaced by Kalen DeBoer, who's going to be taking over. Spillman, what are your thoughts on such an iconic football coach? Just going
I
off into the
just,
sunset.
I feel like the college football that he was coaching doesn't exist anymore. That college football, now that they've got the transfer portal and the name, image, and likeness, and pretty soon they're gonna be paying people straight up. It's not the same. So he was like, what else am I doing here? No one here is ever gonna catch me. I'm seven championships. That's a crazy amount of championships. That's a Tom Brady s number. Um, 7 championships. Just super successful. All the great players that have gone through that program is crazy. The defensive lines and the offensive lines just crazy. And you got people like Julio, all them guys. So to me, it's just Alabama's just it's crazy. But I think with the realignment, everything's changing too. So I really liked him. How did you feel about his career? Were you a big SEC fan?
Believe it or not, I wasn't, but it just is still a testament to him as a coach, in that even if you don't specifically follow him as a coach and his team, you were aware of that, of that career and that success. And you can really say, talk about the testament of how iconic something is. If
Oh, I'll tell you. I'll tell you one. I'm sorry to interrupt.
go ahead.
He was so good at college football, we excused the torrid past of the state of Alabama. People started wearing Alabama stuff, never even been there. You'd be like, Alabama, huh? Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, go back.
yeah.
Get
No, I hear
back.
you. I hear you. I hear you. But I'm just saying, this in general, you can really attest to how iconic of a career he's had if you don't even follow, that team, or you may not even if you are a casual outside of the sport, you were familiar with that name, you knew who he was. you were familiar with the team and that run that they had. So like you have a lot of people who don't know anything about basketball, right? But they know who Michael
Hmm.
Jordan is. A lot of people that may
Right.
not know about football, they know who Tom Brady is. So like
Yeah.
if you exceed the success outside of, or your name rides outside of whatever sport it is you play, or whatever industry that you're known for, and people know who you are, that really says something.
It
So
really does.
we actually had another major thing happen in the world of football, and this being in the NFL, and this is none other than Bill Belichick and the Pats parting ways. And we actually had the recent news of Jared Mayo also stepping in to take over the reins with the Pats as their new head coach, and that is with
Okay.
there we go.
All right.
So
Yeah, there we
yeah,
go. Sorry
sorry
about
about
that,
that, guys.
guys.
So
What
we
happened?
we lost there just for a second, but just going over and I had the pictures up there for a second, but just talking about the body work first with Bill Belichick, nearly a quarter of a century with the Pats. Like that's insane. In the world
Both
of
of
the
them.
NFL, six Super Bowls. And then actually even with Jared Mayo. Jared Mayo, of course, played under Belichick. As a linebacker. He was a linebacker coach during the Belichick era, after a few years after retiring, and he himself, which is also history, guys, he's going to be the youngest NFL coach, and not only the youngest NFL coach. This is something else too. He's going to be the first black coach in the history of the Pats franchise. So, talk to me, Spills. What are your thoughts on this passing of the torch of the old guard to the new guard here?
Well, again, somebody with as much experience and championship mustard as Bill Belichick, you take your hat off to him. He scores more, like all kinds of stuff, like um, putting that offense together that lost, unfortunately, to this to the Giants in the Super Bowl twice. Um, is pretty amazing. But just to see the consistency, like you know, every single PlayStation since PlayStation 2, the Patriots have been good.
Yeah, I
Since
can't.
PlayStation 2, like you could just count on it. It was like people would be rotated in, they get guys, they get rid of guys, terrible things would happen, great things would happen, people would never like it just all worked somehow. So, seeing him go is crazy. I think that's, a passing of the guard, like you said. Um, just to keep the topic from going too crazy, whose job would you rather have? Would you rather have Mayo's job? Or would you rather have DeMarco job in Alabama following these two greats? Which one would you prefer?
Ooh, that's tricky. I don't know. Like I feel like you have a difficult spot in either case, but
Ooh,
if I was forced to choose, I would say Belichick because recently Belichick, hasn't really been, doing too great in terms of the past few seasons, has really struggled, and I don't think that's a testament to him as a coach. I just think that's more of a testament to where the game is and how you need to coach and the relationship that you now need to have with players in today's game versus when his era. So if I was forced to choose Belichick, but again, I think it's a difficult choice in either case.
yeah, for sure. I'd probably pick Belichick too because these are professional athletes, and people don't really care as much about the NFL as they do about college sports. Like people might run up on you if you coach Alabama, you mess it up real bad. Those people killed some trees one time. I remember they got some trees out of here because of that rivalry. So I don't know. Good luck to these guys in these new positions because it's a lot of scrutiny. I don't think it's going to be that much scrutiny for the Patriots because Bill Belichick was great, but it's not like he's got to replace like the Yankees manager or something like.
And then I'll also say this is just the fact that Mayo here, it's not like he's on the outside looking in. He was a
Hmm.
part of, a part of that era of Belichick. So, he still carries that legacy of Belichick, whether as a player or even a part of, the coaching staff. So there is some synergy in that regard versus, getting someone brand new who has to kind of like establish themselves, among the team. So but we're gonna switch gears here to our next story, and we're gonna take a leap outside of sports, if you will, and talk film and TV, and that's none other than the story surrounding Top Gun. So if you guys had a chance to see, of course, Top Gun Maverick, it killed it at the box office, and it was in a special time, a unique time where we still had the pandemic going, and a lot of people were curious to see if film would ever do well in that period of time. So right now we know that Top Gun 3 is in the works. So what are your thoughts, Mo?
Well, I am happy to enter into the danger zone for Gun 3. Those movies are crazy. When I was a kid, that's what I wanted to do until I turned out to be colorblind, and you cannot be an Air Force pilot if you are colorblind. So that hurt my feelings, but we live to fight another day, ladies and gentlemen. But no, love those movies. Really excited to see them. I think they kind of brought back that kind of a genre. Um, it's a little bit, it might be kind of hard in today's climate. People are really pushing on to things that are a little bit different, but it is what it is. But Tom Cruise, that man looks good in a flight suit. I mean, there's nothing else you can say about it. He looks like he's a pilot. He looks like he can, drop out the sky and do some crazy stuff. It's just, it's Top Gun, man. It's Maverick. I mean, come on. Come on. What do you think?
So I'll say this, there are a lot of parts to this, and I didn't even get into the details of the fact that Warner Brothers is currently, in the process of doing a deal with Tom Cruise as we speak. We don't know the specifics of it yet, but we do. It has been, reported, and this is. I just wanted to, make it clear because it is in our story. It is from, excuse me. It is from the organization known as Puck, um, giving the exclusive here. But just to get into the brief details of it, is that yeah, Paramount has always had an existing relationship with Tom Cruise with a lot of the franchises that are going. Of course, we have Top Gun, um, we have Mission Impossible as well. So you know, it makes sense that they would want to do something that did well, duh. but at the same time too, Mission Impossible, the last one didn't do too well, so it still seems kind of interesting, considering the fact that he's being courted by another studio in terms of a deal with other films that they have going. So we'll see what happens. But it is a testament to Tom Cruise. Even years and years later, he's still at the top of his game, in terms of being in demand, which is saying something, because I feel like in the world of Hollywood, when it comes to actors, there was a time, I feel very much, where it was very much star driven, and I feel like in the current day and age that we're in, we have very few Hollywood stars left. And the reason why I say that is because very much so, we're very much in the era of franchises, where I feel like franchises have started to become the stars more so. The IPs have started to become the stars more than the actors themselves. Because I remember at a time where, just putting an actor's name on a film was enough to drive it to a given box office, and that's not a guarantee, I feel like, in the current climate. So
I agree. I agree. It's just the thing about the Top Gun airplanes just look cool on movies, man. Especially when they jet planes and they're doing all that kind of stuff. It's a fun movie. The last one was very successful, so I just feel like, you know, you said Mission Impossible, but those are two different beasts. There's been like 12 Mission Impossibles, so it's like
one of the few franchises where I can honestly say, like, they're consistently solid. I mean, there are a couple of them
it's
that
been a
I
lot
prefer
of them
more than
though.
others, but I'm just
6 or
saying,
7.
overall, it's arguably one of the best franchises, because a lot of times when you're dealing with that many installments, it's diminishing returns, and I feel like for the most part, like, it's pretty solid. There's some ones that obviously I like far more than others, but overall, as a package, like, it's a solid franchise. So, um, that face. Uh, so hopping into our last story, of course, as I mentioned at the top, we had CES happening, the Consumer Electronics Show, happening here in Vegas, and I was there all this week. Unless you've been living on a rock, you know that I was there, because I had put up a couple of stories here as well as on Facebook in the dual broadcast, and there were so many cool things to see. One thing that I commented on is the fact that this was kind of like my first CES. And the reason why I say that is because my first CES was in 2022 during the pandemic still. And so there were a lot of companies that had bowed out. So this was like one of the first years where we had everybody here. So um crazy, a lot of the things that I saw product wise, with the televisions, those LED, those televisions in which they're completely clear, like you can see through them, but you could still have the images there. What's being done with AI, and what going forward, and some of the other specific products like the massage chairs. Oh, the massage chairs. And then the noise canceling mask that you're using for security, that can be used with so many applications security wise. So awesome. So Spillman, I got to get you out here one of these years, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. We did ask about the VR headset. Did you try the VR headset? Which ones did you try?
I did not this go around. I didn't have a chance to do it this go around, just based off commitments I had. But I mean, what I did see was just mind blowing. Where we've come. And there were a couple of companies that I've had on the show before, and the leaps forward that they've taken from the last time that they've been on the show with their product has been amazing. So
Also, that Apple one did. I think they started taking the orders this weekend for the Apple headset, but $3,500 for your peepers is quite a chunk of
And there were
change there.
some deals. I will say that. I'll close it off with that. There were some deals that are exclusive to CES that you were able to take advantage of. I will tease, be on the lookout. There may be some deals that we might be able to do. So be on the lookout for that. that we may have exclusively with us. So be on the lookout for that. Um, but with that being said, Spills, as I said, it's going to be a short show. Thank you so much for hopping on. Before I let you go, can you tell folks where they can find
Thanks.
you?
Yep. Oh, so it is the peace. It's the peace sign. It makes the thing
Nice,
now. We
nice,
figured it
nice,
out. Yeah.
nice.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just so happy to see you all. You can look me up on Truly Spill on Instagram, and have a blessed and observant MLK weekend.
All right, cool beans. So again,
You're
I am your host, Brandon Choi, host and co-creator of Movers and Shakers Unlimited. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be safe out there, and see you soon. Peace.